This is going to be a little bit of a different video for me. I'm going to tear this apart. I don't want to call it a tear down because an individual who's very good at electronics uses that word, so I'm just going to say take it apart. And ever since I saw these and found out about them, I was fascinated by them, and I'm going to give a bit of a background here on what it is, if the ants don't pick it up and carry it away. This plugs into the OBDII port on a car. And the OBDII port, the OBDII system was standardized for all 1996 and newer vehicles. And what it is it's a standard of self-diagnostics within the car, and also data accessibility to the technician. I'm really just shortening this down. And the self-diagnosis is good for emissions, monitoring emissions, as well as drivability and some other things. Shortly after these little boxes started to come out, and basically what this contains is well, we're going to find out, but what this contains is a high sensitivity GPS, as well as a cellular device like in your phone that can communicate the data that it collects back to whatever. We don't know. I mean, we don't know if it's an insurance company or a business or government. We don't know what this one specifically was. Now, insurance companies have started giving these out to their customers, and they have cutesy names for them. I know Progressive has one. I think they call it Snapshot, and AAA has one, and a few other insurance companies have these things. And this one, the cutesy name on this one is Car Chip. Okay, well, Car Chip. Looks like it's got a little piezo transducer there, or maybe a microphone. It would probably be more correctly called tracker chip or spy chip or something like that. Basically what this is when the jealous wife or the suspicious wife or the government agent sticks the little GPS tracker with the magnetic thing up on the bottom of the target's car, that's what this is. But this is voluntary. And Americans used to hate invasion of privacy. I remember in the late 80s, Chevy Corvette put a little tracker under the seat, and it recorded a tiny amount of data because there were so many accidents and crashes with that vehicle. They wanted General Motors wanted to try and pinpoint, what the cause was. Was it driver error? Was it something with the vehicle? And people were all in an uproar about it. Get it out of there, remove it, we're not going to buy the car. Now people demand it. People almost demand that they're spied on and that they share everything with everybody all the time. And this is the new industry in America. You can see there, made in USA. Well, this is America's new industry. It's facial recognition and spying and copyright identification and all the negative stuff. This is America's new strong point. Now, a little bit about the OBDII platform, which is this connector. Every car, 1996 and newer, has the female side of this connector. Most of the time, 90% of the time, it's on the driver's side, up under above the pedals. And it's an access port for technicians. It can be used to update the software in the car's computers. It can be used to retrieve codes and data, live data. And that's what this is most interested in, is live data. Now, there's two levels of live data. There's what they call global or generic OBDII data, which is just 10 lines of data. And there's enhanced data, which a dealer or somebody with a good scan tool or computer can access. I don't think this can access anything except the global OBDII data, but that's enough. In that data, basically you can see vehicle miles per hour, injector pulse width, oxygen sensor data, codes, freeze frame if a code is set, calculated load, throttle position sensor value, mass airflow sensor value, short-term and long-term fuel trim. See, I got to think about it for a second here. Engine RPM, engine coolant temperature sensor value, and a few other generic things. When you get into the enhanced, you can see how many hours the car has been run and what gear the transmission's in, and if there's an air conditioning request. And you can see on the newer cars, you can see all the body control information, if the windows are open, if there's an air conditioning request, if there's someone sitting in the passenger seat, just all the data, all the, automatic transmission fluid temperature, torque converter pressure, just all these different things on the enhanced. There's probably like 150 lines of information on enhanced, but this is not looking at that. This is only looking at what I said, but you can get quite an idea of the person driving the car's habits by just those lines of data. You can very accurately calculate miles per gallon or fuel consumption based on injector pulse width, engine RPM, and vehicle speed. Those three things will give you, if you know the make and model of vehicle and engine size, you know how many pounds per hour the injectors flow. You can calculate by those three things, injector pulse width, RPM, and vehicle speed, how much fuel that vehicle's using. And you can see what the person's driving habits are, if they've overheated the engine, if there are codes present, fault codes. So you can get a profile on if there's somebody who maintains their vehicle or somebody who neglects their vehicle. You can, there's a lot of how fast they drive, does this thing automatically call home when it sees 100 miles an hour on the vehicle speed? There's a lot that you can deduct from just a few lines of data using simple calculations. Now, most people would have no clue what this is. Their insurance company gave it to them. Hey, it saves me money. That's what it's for. It saves me money. And a lot of the people that drive company vehicles who have received these know exactly what they are, that their company is tracking them. and probably a lot of the data is never really analyzed or looked at, like the NSA tracking. It's just data stored in a server somewhere. And if there's reason to call it up, for instance, an accident, the insurance company can, you know, take a look at that data, and they can see the time of day, they can see the exact location, they can see rate of travel, direction of travel, because this has a good GPS in it. They can see a lot with this. And it probably has either a CDMA or maybe a UMTS or LTE transceiver in it, and it probably runs on, I don't know, maybe Sprint, the Sprint network, or maybe Verizon if they're willing to pay that. I mean, it does not a whole lot of, it's not a whole lot of data load on the cellular network to you know, to send a GPS data and a few lines of data from the car. But yeah, it saves you money, and that's what it's for. It saves you money. So let's pop it open, and I'll keep talking about it. Well, this is nice. The first thing we see is a 400 milliamp lithium ion battery, so you think if you unplug the shit from your car you're safe? Not quite. This would probably keep this going for quite a while. In fact, that's a nice little score right there. So let's see. Let me get into high def. So that must be the power supply right there. Got a nice little tantalum capacitor there. 227, 22 microfarads at 6 volts. Couple diodes. By the way, this connector coming out of the car has a whole bunch of stuff, but it has continuous 12 volts and ground, of course. And it has several data lines, and on the OBDII standard, there's a whole bunch of different communications protocols, and the newer cars are all using what's called CAN bus, which is a twisted pair, you know, for noise rejection, that connects all the modules in the car together on a data network. It's like a data network. And the CAN bus twisted pair comes out into here. And so the reason why there's so many pins is this can read the newer CAN bus as well as the older Keyword 2000 and ISO and all the different protocols that they used, you know, over the years. So this looks like a little piezo transducer thing, so it can beep at you probably if you go over a certain speed or overheat the car or something like that. And antenna 2, and again, I don't know that much about this stuff, to be completely honest, the surface mount stuff. So antenna 2, so we have a little circuit board etched antenna there. Here we go. How's that? How about that? A SIM card. It's got a SIM card in it. So this is obviously the cellular section right here, the data, cellular data. IMEI, so it's GSM platform or UMTS. It's not CDMA, so here in the States it's either running on AT&T or T-Mobile. It's probably a quad band cellular backhaul. But isn't that cute? It's got a SIM card in it. Hey, people just don't know. Hey, it saves me money. That's what it does. It saves me money. Oh, here's the antenna right here. Here's the cellular antenna. It's like a little Yagi. It saves me money. It helps my insurance company better serve me. So this must be the GPS right here. So there's just a couple surface mount chips inside these. Should I put that in my phone? I think I will. This is gonna be good. One of the reasons why I keep this old piece of crap phone is because I don't want anything with all the modern spyware crap in it. Not that this doesn't have it, but it's not nearly to the extent of, say, an iPhone or a new Android. And yeah, I do care about privacy. I really do. I don't want these corporations and government agencies collecting a ton of data on me. You might be laughing and saying, well, he's producing these stupid videos that just tell us everything. Well, yeah, pretty much. I get that. I don't want to be a hypocrite about it, but, you know, this stuff here is out of control. Yep, people automatically now, people just love to just share everything. And I don't know how the people in charge got the public so into that, you know, into just being brain dead about their privacy and the value of their privacy. You know, it's a lot like, how do you create a cashless society? How do we move towards a cashless society? Well, it's pretty easy. We just convince people that it's too dangerous to carry cash. You know, use your card. If it gets ripped off, if your wallet gets ripped off, you can always just call and cancel it. You know, don't carry cash. It's dangerous to carry cash. You might get mugged. So we tell people that, we brainwash them, and guess what? Hardly anyone carries cash anymore. I don't know. Well, I was curious to see what network this. I popped this thing open and it's got some ball grid array chips inside here. I love how they sell this stuff. They glamorize, you know, giving up your privacy. It's sick. You know, and the thing is a stupid public buys into it. Look at this. Easy plug-in installation. When it's installed in the vehicle, car chip connect almost disappears. Yeah, it just looks like the cap on the OBDII connector. Ooh, your answer to fleet management. Cloud-based software provides cost-effective, out-of-the-box fleet management reporting that will save you time and money. Yeah, you know, keep your foot down on the neck of your employees. Don't give them an inch. You know, and they wonder why there's so much discontent in the workplace these days. Ooh, efficiency. There you go. Safer driving means better fuel economy and less wear and tear and fewer accidents. See, by looking at the calculated load data line, they can look at, oh, well, look at this guy. His calculated load is either 10%, meaning it's at idle, or 100%, meaning it's at wide open throttle. So this is one of those guys that just mashes it to the floor between lights. We need to get rid of him because he's a... Okay, here we go. Monitor emission status and engine diagnostic codes via real-time phone and email alerts. I did not read this before I made the video. Ooh, do we even get a picture here of what we... Glenn Fry is the... See, so these are all scores based on their calculations of that data. Speed band, activity, efficiency. So they can monitor, wonder what the G bubble is. They can monitor, you know, by what I said there, the triangle of engine speed, vehicle speed, and injector pulse width. They can get a lot of these, as well as vehicle speed. They can get a lot of these. So look at here, we have all the... These are the green employees are the ones we need to keep. The orange ones are the ones we need to review and give a warning to, and the red ones are the ones that we need to immediately phase out. Okay, there you go, CAN protocol, which is controller area network. Oh, that's the other thing, that it pulls the VIN number out of the generic OBDII data. So here all the monitors are complete on this car, but we have a trouble code. Now, well, what's the trouble code? Oh, here it is right here. Coolant temperature below thermostat rating, P0128. So it needs a new thermostat. So essentially this is the same data that emissions test in most major metropolitan areas now will look at, is the this exact thing right here, because the car's computer is better at diagnosing emissions problems than an outside analyzer. So now the car's computers are relied on to diagnose emissions rather than an outside analyzer like was used on the older vehicles. And of course you have your simple GPS thing where your employees are or whatever. I mean, this is one thing for a private business to use this, because it's their fleet, they own these vehicles, they want them maintained and driven in a certain fashion. That's their right as a private business to do this, but the majority of these plug-in things now are being given out by insurance companies, and people think the reason why is because they save me money. It saves me money. You know what? There's no such thing as a free ride. Nobody's giving you anything for free. Facebook is not letting you use their servers because they love you and they want you to share everything you're doing with their friends. They want you to share everything with them so that they can get a facial recognition database built for the FBI, and they want to know what you're about so that they can send you advertising and targeted marketed ads, just like YouTube and Google, as I covered in my I'm Back video. That's the market they're in, is targeted advertising. All right, I'm starting to sound like a preacher here. Powerful telematics, GPS tracking, geofence boundaries, 3-axis accelerometer motion detector. Okay. Driver safety limits and engine and driver diagnostics. So it's got an accelerometer in it too. So it knows how hard you're accelerating, and it knows if you hit something, and even if you hit something so hard you rip the whole front of the car off, it's still got a battery. It can dial into home and say, this one needs to be fired right now. So by saying over and over and over again in this thing that, car chip almost disappears, they're basically saying, stick it in there when your employee's not looking and your employee will never notice it, because they say that like and there's where the OBD2 port is on a lot of cars. Now this one, the one that I tore apart, actually had a black sticker over the front of it, which meant the company was probably trying to hide it. Okay, so it's $295 for that little box I tore apart, and $13.95 a month. Plans are available in a variety of countries, really? Let's see what we got here. Service plan includes cellular connection, data storage, so it's actually got some data storage in it. A car chip connect account with unlimited user real-time alerts, vehicle emissions reports, and engine diagnostics. Basic trip event, start, stop, and end time, maximum speed, time over speed limit, excessive idling, and hard and extreme braking. Okay, they're using the G monitor in the accelerometer in the chip to get that data. Acceleration and cornering and email text alerts. So you can set it to send you a text message if you take a corner too hard. Includes all features listed above. Includes all features listed above, plus 30 real-time GPS locations per month, and geofencing. By the way, this would not have bidirectional capability, and the OBDII, the enhanced OBDII scan tools in that do allow bidirectional communication, as in activation of solenoids and speed limiting and all kinds of stuff for diagnostic, as well as OnStar. OnStar has quite a bit of bidirectional control, but this, being generic OBDII, would not do that. Oh, here we go. Ooh, the Platinum plan. Includes all features listed above, plus GPS location updates every 1 minute. 100 real-time GPS location requests and geofencing. I wonder what geofencing is. I wonder if that's like if you set up on a map, you know, like a make-believe fence, and if the vehicle goes outside of that zone, then it alerts you that the person is, you know, going to a bar at lunchtime outside the zone or something. Really? You can get this thing in Afghanistan? I'm sure the Google data on Afghanistan is real good. Tanzania too.